Welcome to the past, where you'll get information related to sports, video games, technology, music, and our all-time favorite ass of the week. Episode 190 of the past is here, and I'm here with my... I can't even be that serious if I wanted to. What's good, y'all?
Keep spitting, man. It was a good intro.
That was a struggle in the making. What's good, y'all, man? We are doing another episode, and I'm doing we this time because I am at my boy's spot. I guess you can call it...
In the lab.
In the lab. Little bit of a special but beneficial adjustment for the show. So this is episode 190 of the past. I'm your host, BT. Like I said, I'm here with Mark. Okay, wait, time out. So what you're not gonna do is come on my show and hit air horns when just let him know, like, this.
You got a soundboard now.
Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Like,
I forgot you had the soundboard upgrade.
Don't come for me.
Hey.
Don't come for me. Like, that's what we not about to do. This is about to be the most inappropriate podcast
since the last one we did.
So, warning: if this is the last podcast, it was nice knowing y'all.
My bad.
Episode 190, like I said, we'll do the number reference first. And I don't have gunshot, so I'm gonna warn y'all now. He may have them, but I may throw some inappropriate.
I stay loaded.
Yeah, sorry. So he might have some in the clip. Pause. Let's see. Angel number 190. There's something special with numbers. That is why some parents work to make their children, make sure their children are born on a particular date because of the meaning attached to those numbers. Others would want to be booked at a particular table number on the night they are proposing marriage to their loved one because of the blessings that number has. So the number 190 has a special message for you, and here it is. Make the most of the spiritual knowledge given to you with this number symbolism. Choices have consequences. That is the meaning from Angel number 190. Before taking action on anything that will affect your life, think long and hard, analyze the pros and cons, then make a decision. The choices you make today will set up a motion that might affect the rest of your life. If your marriage is not working, before rushing off to get a divorce, pursue all other available avenues that can make things work for you in a relationship. I'm not going to put for you relationship, because that was just written derpy. Seek counseling, sit down with your partner, and have the heart-to-heart talk with them. Make time and go away somewhere. Make sure you make the right decisions so that you don't look back and regret on what would have been. Your spirit angel is also telling you to be empathetic to other people's situations. Don't be aloof to what others are going through, especially if they are facing challenges. Walk a mile in their shoes and try to understand how they are feeling. Angel number 190 asks you to give them a helping hand where you can, or share with them some words of wisdom that will lessen their burden. Whenever you help out, don't gloat about it, but let it be something you did out of the goodness and willingness of your heart. A good deed will always attract another good deed.
Hallelujah.
This is right. Time is right for new beginnings and putting an end to old ways. Your angel number is telling you this is the right time to forge into that new horizon. Push ahead with those new and fresh ideas that you have been holding on to, and they will open new doors that will change your life for the better. And angel number 1, number 9, and number 0 together are telling you not to be in a rush. Before making a decision, you have to weigh the situation. Make decisions that you will live with for the rest of your life without regrets.
Hey.
Strong message here, and just kind of teaching you.
I feel motivated.
Feel motivated? That's the goal of sharing this. Like, we want to get you into that mode. Like, it's kind of like, because I do follow another podcast, Unsought podcast, where they, end on a positive note. Me, I just start off positive and then we just go into the shits. But bars. God's plan. So before I forget, because I do want to make sure I acknowledge this. So I always mention about the businesses. You'll see the links in the show notes. I want to promote a friend of mine's podcast, the Unplanted Podcast. They are doing some big things, and they're looking to kind of network with churches and kind of bring church, kind of introduce, not, I want to say the pop-up church, but kind of introduce the spiritual aspect from a different avenue. So I wanted to bring that up.
So outside the church.
Yeah, in so many words. That's the simplest way to put it.
That's cool. That's cool.
So we're gonna go ahead and
we're gonna go straight into church.
We're gonna go right into the aggro heavy hit, which is if you know, as I do each week, I usually give the playoff updates. So since I have a co-host, no, wait, I'm about to give you credit. So wait, go ahead. No,
go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you gonna say.
No, go ahead.
What's up?
No, it's your podcast. Go ahead.
What you want to say?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Do you want to? Because we can either start with this, or I can go ahead and let you get your emotional moment since we just watched it.
You can start. Go.
Okay.
Go. We got a time limit. Let's go.
So I'm gonna give credit where it was due. Toronto did get knocked off.
Hey,
was that what you was waiting for?
I was about to say that too.
I had that moment.
I was like, that's in the archives. Like, look at the docket. I've said this on that date.
It's about a week ago.
Although I will say shortly, keeping it brief because Toronto's not in the playoffs. You shouldn't have gotten rid of your coach. I think this is going to probably be a debacle for Toronto for at least 2 seasons.
5.
Okay, that might be a whole different topic altogether. But I think Toronto was in the wrong for firing their coach of the year.
He's going to be coach of the year, which is going to be funny.
Yeah, but he might be going to the Pistons, which would be really funny because if we get the Pistons into the playoffs and Toronto start dropping,
then it's going to look kind of bad.
This is going to be some love in the Motor City, I tell you, boy.
And Detroit will have a good lineup with Blake.
And they got Blake. Yeah, they got Blake, and they got some really young
Stanley
talent.
Johnson. Yeah, it's a pretty good lineup. So,
but they're out of the playoffs. Let's talk about who's actually still in the playoffs.
So yeah, we're dancing. Tomorrow will be game 7. I was going to say Dan 7. Game 7 between the Celtics and the Cavs, and it's kind of the big shocker of which LeBron will show up. The challenge for me is it's in Boston. That's my biggest thing.
See, I don't think it's which LeBron shows up. It's which team surrounding LeBron shows up. And now with Kevin Love with not having a concussion and he's out.
Yeah.
Which means you have to put more emphasis on Lucas and George Hill and Tristan not cheating Thompson and and the rest of the support. And of course, J.R. Smith. Yeah. Hopefully he keeps his shirt on. If that team shows up, they're good.
Right.
Like they can win in Boston, no problem.
Yeah.
But again, if you know sports and you know Boston is like a die-hard sports town.
Yeah.
And they will let you know it if they love you, and they will damn sure let you know if they hate you.
If they hate you, yeah.
And you got to represent there. Boston is definitely represented during the playoffs. Brad Stevens got this team believing that they can actually make the playoffs, which is mind-boggling because Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward aren't there.
Right.
So them making the finals is an achievement itself. LeBron making the finals with this team would be an achievement.
All right.
So it's a win-win regardless, but I just can't see a team without LeBron James in the finals. So that's why I'm going to go with Cleveland to win Game 7.
All right.
I would not be surprised if Boston wins Game 7. I know this is trying 50-50 picking everything, but you got to look at history.
Yeah.
LeBron is NBA Finals basketball. Just him alone. You can put him on any team. You can put him with the Kings, and the Kings could probably make the finals.
Right.
And I'm just saying as a Kings fan. But the way that Brad Stevens got this team believing without 2 of their star players and the young guns like Terry Rozier, you got Tatum and all of them.
Yep.
They're playing at a high level right now. And you got Boston. It's in Boston. That's the main thing.
I think the in Boston part is why I'm kind of pushing towards.
It's tough, isn't it?
No.
No?
For me, it's not. And I'm
point blank.
I'm gonna be transparent. Because we're I ain't gonna say we in constraint, but we want to make sure we chip at as many of, if not all of the topics.
We got this. We got
it. Cleveland's good, but they're not great.
Yeah, they're not great. Historically great, like the teams in the past.
The tough part is LeBron can only carry but so much of the weight, and the tough part is there's 2 factors to it. We'll do the hypothetical. If they win this series, they're going into the finals depleted
Oh, we already knew that before the playoffs even started.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, the way that their road has been, what was it? 7 games? Yeah, it was 7 in Indy. And
7 in Indy.
They got the sweep in Toronto, which I thought that's the break they needed.
Yeah.
And then when they got to Boston, I was thinking, oh, well, it might go 5 or 6. But no, they went down, and now they're down 3 to... Well, it's tied.
Yeah, it's tied 3 tight. And I mean, I think it's just... The toughest factor for me is why I'm pushing Boston more is it's in Boston.
Right.
And I think it's just... I mean, I've said this numerous times on the show. They're a grittier team. They're going to bring a tougher A game between the two of them.
And they got a bunch of players in their contract years, and they're hungry.
Yeah.
They want their money.
Before I jump to the West, I want to bring this up really briefly because this is something that I've noticed. I like ESPN's edge of what they do. Have you been seeing the details snippets that they're doing with Kobe?
I saw a little bit of it.
Okay.
I think it's a really cool aspect of it because you're looking at it from a player, of course, that was at an elite level, sure first class Hall of Famer, and he's giving his detail, quote unquote, of what he sees during the game. I think that's really interesting because a lot of basketball people is like, oh, what would MJ think of this situation, or what would Kobe think, or Shaq, or they want like the big players that they've seen play the game, and it's like, oh, you look at the game now. What is your opinion on it?
Yeah, he has one of the highest basketball IQs I've seen in the NBA. Like, there's a lot of players that do, but I think he's up there.
If you are a player that is trying to get into the league, I think you have to look at Kobe Bryant's mentality, that Black Mamba mentality, because that's how you become an elite athlete and one of the top players in your game. You have to live, breathe, sleep, and do everything that's surrounding your sport. Right. Hence, like, for example, you have Kobe, you have a LeBron in basketball, you have Tom Brady or Cam Newton. Yeah. Like, high position players in each sport. Yeah. Ronaldo, Messi in soccer. And you have a bunch of these players that every decision that they make is surrounding like, okay, is this going to make me better or is this going to make me worse? Even during the off season. Even if eating between broccoli or a pizza. Yeah. Like, true. That's pretty impressive. And with that plateau and that praise, you get more people like saying, hey, what do you think of, like, how do I give this example? How do you get the Joe Schmo from a regular position, and then you get a person that high saying, oh, he's doing this right, he probably should work on this. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah. And then he's probably seeing that video and was like, yeah, I need to go back into the lab and do this. Yeah, because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown from that game hopefully got some good tips that they'll carry into Game 7. Right. On the flip side, because he did one with Steph Curry, Houston and Golden State play tonight in Game 6. I'm not even going to give a whole lot of fluff because, number one, I'm a Houston fan. I'm going to be an asshole. Houston tonight is in Golden State, but I feel like Houston can pull it off tonight. Do you think it's going 7? I'll be dead honest. I thought Golden State was going to win this at 5.
A lot of people did.
I was one of those people.
A lot of people really didn't think Houston was going to break.
I know you're a loyal Houston fan. You've been loyal since Hakeem Olajuwon and Kenny Smith was on the team. Yeah. And Charles Barkley. Anyway, yeah.
Call it like it is.
I think. See, this is tough. Both of these series are really good series. Surprisingly, I think Golden State. In order for Golden State to win Game 6, they need James Harden to not be like James Harden shooting wise.
0 for 11. Just say it. I'm sorry. You forgot who I am.
Well, he also needs to be not 0 from 23 on his last 3-point attempts. Yeah. And Golden State actually needs to show up and do something. And when I say that, yeah, you're going to get production from Steph. You're going to get production from KD. You're going to get production from Draymond. Mm-hmm. It's Klay Thompson. And that might be the most oddest thing that people aren't thinking about. You're going to get production from those three. Mm-hmm. If Klay doesn't produce a couple of threes, get a couple defensive styles, get a couple rebounds, get a couple assists, their numbers drop tremendously. Yeah. And on the team aspect, they just haven't been getting it done in the third and fourth. Yeah, it might be tiredness. Yeah, it may be fatigue. Yeah, they might be thinking, oh, we got this before because, we got the rings, as Coach Kerr would say. Mm-hmm. I think Golden State will get the win. Right. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Okay.
I think James Harden will try his best on defense.
Right.
But Chris Paul being out is...
That's the other thing, too. Because Chris Paul being out is kind of why it's tough to kind of be the obvious caller. But on the flip, the only reason I think I'm pushing for it more is I feel like this is going to be the game Clint Capella steps up.
Oh.
Yeah, I said it. So, those are... I guess you can say those are picks. So you're saying... You said Cleveland.
I say Cleveland in
Boston.
Cleveland, I say Cleveland shocks Boston in Boston, and LeBron gets to the finals again.
Okay.
Which means, yes, Cleveland, Golden State, Chapter 4 in the finals. I know it's repetitive, but I think this is going to happen. And I'm sorry, Cleveland fans. I think Golden State's going to beat y'all in 5.
Yeah. And for me, it's the exact
maybe in 6, because maybe Cleveland might defend home court, whatever it takes. By the way, Cleveland, great shirts, by the way. Those shirts did look baller.
We'll talk about ballers in a bit. So, for me, it's the exact. I'm going complete opposite. I got Houston winning tonight. If they don't win tonight, then they'll finish it up in Houston. They just don't want to get the series to go back to Houston, but by being... And I said this last week, when Game 4 happened, Golden State had to lose that game. And I know that's kind of like an obvious, but it was like they had to be... It had to be 2-2 going back to Houston, because now you make it a best of 3 series, which basically is what happened. Like, and
get everybody else more media buzz and all that.
Yep. So Houston did the easy part. They won Game 5. Game 6 tonight is going to be. It's kind of like the roles being reversed, because Game 5 was important for Kevin Durant. Durant screwed up. Game 6 is going to be important for Harden. Harden has to step up, because if Harden shows what he showed in Game 5 statistically, it's going to go 7 games.
I like those bars right there.
Yeah.
It's a good rhyme.
Yeah. Hey, rhyming accidentally. So, yeah, Houston and Boston are my picks. Nothing against LeBron. I think LeBron's going to be... I mean, LeBron has a run. I don't think... And this is me going into forecasting. After draft, after summer league, free agency, he's staying in Cleveland. We'll move forward.
Yeah, that's a topic for the future. We ain't talking about
that. That's just my random projection. So
speaking of playoffs,
so this is I'm sharing this because it's kind of like a 2%, and I'll kind of give the full circle. So I really don't need a tablet for this.
Put the tablet down.
Yeah, just drop it, let it go. So Washington is Ovechkin is finally getting over the hump.
That's just... I'm gonna take a swig of this drink right here.
He's getting over. He's gotten over the hump, because him and trying to get to the Stanley Cup Finals has been.
I wouldn't even say it's just him. It's just the whole organization.
The organization, yeah. But I mean, that's kind of been the main name that's kind of been the target.
So by the way, we're talking about the NHL Stanley Cup Finals between the Washington Capitals and the Vegas Golden Knights, just in case you weren't clear. But go. Yeah,
and it'll be in the show notes.
Correct.
So the Vegas story is why I'm really sharing this, because a lot of people aren't paying attention to what's going on in sports right now.
It's an expansion team in their first year in the final.
Right. But also...
Do you not know how ridiculous that is? That's like you doing a creative team in Madden that's at 60 overall, and you somehow make it to the Super Bowl in your first try.
Yep.
After defeating like the Patriots and all of them.
Keep going, you good.
Like, I'm just...
Okay. All right. So because I was like, we're live.
Yeah, look. We live!
All right. And
sorry.
He's back.
Yeah, we're back.
I can turn him down and it's still, you know what, Negroes. So.
Oh, Lord.
Did I lie?
Woo.
Did I lie?
I'm caramel.
Meanwhile, back in the ring.
Anyway, back to the playoffs.
So the Las Vegas trend is very unique to me, and this is why I say that. Mm-hmm. Last week, the story broke about Las Vegas allowing, like, as far as gambling,
sports betting,
right? Sports betting is kind of being allowed outside
across
of
the board.
Las Vegas expansion team goes to the Stanley Cup. A couple of years from now, you're gonna have the Raiders with the team there. You have the women's basketball team that's there. It's a lot of change in market with Las Vegas, and also because I did talk about this last year, shameless plug. The esports kind of making its mark in Las Vegas as well.
Right, they're doing a lot of more
like Halo,
esports Grand Final, Halo, Rainbow Six, and all that.
Evo, all of that is like Las Vegas is kind of like the hot spot now. So it's kind of like a unique full circle in that regard, because All right, I'll ask this, and this is just a 2% question. Which story do you think would be the bigger headline? Washington and Ovechkin getting that coveted holding Lord Stanley, or a franchise team in its first year in Las Vegas, not just any franchise team, but Las Vegas winning the championship?
That's a very good question, actually. Well, let's look at it from both sides.
Yeah.
You have Washington, who has been the running joke of first round and done for about the last 5-6 seasons. Because they always had a really good run up in the season, get to a high position, start falling down in the later part of the season, but finally make the playoffs and get swept or get cleaned out in the first round or go to game 7. Like, oh, we're going to do it this time, and then get cleaned out by the Penguins.
Yeah.
And then this year, they somehow able to get past the first round. And they meet the Penguins in the second round. Everybody's like, oh, here we go again. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins are going to get them out of here. Yeah. And that went 7, and the Capitals actually survived. Then you played the Lightning,
which was a scary series.
Yes, because the Capitals had the advantage, and then typical Cap fashion, they screwed it all up, made Game 7 happen, and then they played almost nearly the perfect game.
Right.
So for the Capitals, it's more of, hey, we've been the running jokes of the NHL for about 20, 25 years. We got to we're done. We're gunning to be the top dog.
Right.
And for the Caps, and I'm not a Caps fan, but I gotta give props to the hashtag all Caps fans here in the area.
Yeah.
They rocking their red, they're rocking their blue, they're rocking their number 8 because Ovechkin is a beast of a hockey player from the motherland of Russia.
Yeah.
So the Caps deserve to be here.
Right.
On the other hand, Las Vegas got an expansion team, and I think it was the old Atlanta Thrashers team that was in Atlanta. I'm not sure which one it was.
I believe so.
So they took that team, an expansion team, put them in Vegas, which, by the way, Vegas is not a cold state. It's a little bit warm. Got a little desert over there. And they somehow came up with a plan. They got more experienced players around their youthful squad. And they somehow made Vegas a hockey town.
Right.
Which, again, if you go to Vegas, it's not a hockey town. It's, casinos, shows, Michael Jackson Thriller videos, all that good stuff. And they somehow made this sinful, beautiful city of entertainment into a sports town that loves the Golden Knights. And I became a fan of them because of their introductions. Like the pump up videos that you see like in like college sports and stuff like that, the intros and stuff. Yeah. Their pregame shows looks like a Vegas show.
It's like a PowerPoint slide on steroids.
No, it's like a full live performance.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, I like this.
Right.
So, and yet again, the big thing is they're an expansion team. Everybody thought, nah, they're not gonna do anything. They're gonna be crap. They're gonna be finished like dead last.
Right.
Them making the playoffs is a joke. Oh, they got to the playoffs. Oh, they're gonna be swept in the first round. They're not ready for this. Never done this before. And they, I wouldn't say dominated, but they had the upper hand almost.
They've been on
a tear.
Right.
So when you look at it, are you a fan of history being history and stereotypes and lose shaming and always being declared as a loser, finally getting that golden win that they always been fighting for so much? Or do you go with the team that never been here before, first time they have created a team and they made it to the final?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm kind of leaning towards the expansion team thing because it's never been done before.
Right. I'm with that.
With the Capitals, yeah, they're a good team historically, and historically they've been, down in the dumps and all that. But for me, it's Vegas. Having a new team in Vegas make it to the final and then playing and possibly winning the Stanley Cup. That speaks itself, especially for, like you said, Las Vegas.
It kind of sets a precedent too for the sport. Like, I think that's how I'm looking at it. It sets a precedent for two factors. It sets a precedent for the sport, and it also sets a precedent for the city.
Yes.
So that's how I'm looking at it. And I mean, most people know Las Vegas not really for, like, they know it's a tourist attraction, but they don't know it on the breakdown of like having a sport, like the sports I mean, you look at everyone remember the Running Rebels from back in the day, but other than
Johnson
that,
and all them.
Yeah, after you really look at that, the only time we really get a big story or a big noise about you and about Las Vegas is
McGregor versus Mayweather.
That and Summer League. When they do Summer League for the NBA, and it's like, all right, whoever the number 1 draft pick and the number 2 draft pick are, they're gonna be at the Summer League game.
Or if it's a big UFC fight in Vegas,
UFC,
or boxing and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they use a lot of the MGM venues there.
Right.
So
I'm thinking, if Vegas gets a sports team that actually wins, and not just wins a championship.
Yeah.
That town then becomes not only a place for betting and entertainment, it becomes a sports venue.
Right.
Which they're trying to basically make it the ultimate state for, well, it's not really state, the ultimate city for entertainment.
Right.
Like, we got gambling, we got entertainment, we got sports, like, you need to come here.
Yeah.
So
True.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good final. I'm thinking Vegas in 6. I still don't think the Capitals have enough to clinch the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
But I'll definitely give Capitals credit. It's been a great season for them.
I'm going Cap 7.
Oh,
because I'm
okay with Stanley Cup final hockey going 7 games.
I mean, Cap 7 is good, and I mean it'll be. I think the only challenge of it is it's in like Las Vegas has home court, home ice,
home court.
I'm trying to sit here and figure out how to use
ice blading on a basketball court.
That moment
crazy.
that you know that you don't know anything when you deal with hockey on a whole new level.
Yeah, I'm here for you, bro.
Hey, that's my job. To have you here for the limelight.
Speaking of jobs, the NFL.
All right, which one we gonna do first? Do we want to go over the actual rule changes, or do we want to get into the infamous shits about the crazy issue with the anthem?
Let's do the anthem first.
Okay. Shit is trash.
Moving on.
I honestly don't understand what got them to this point. Like this.
I'm thinking it's a bunch of older gentlemen that are Caucasian. Because let's be real.
Yeah, get shit off. Yeah.
There's no owner of color anywhere in the NFL. They're looking at a situation which wasn't really a situation until they opened their mouth.
Yeah.
And instead of doing like the NBA does, actually talk to your players and get your players more involved in decision making, because that's not a threat of power. That's your employer feeling like, oh, my boss or owners want to talk with me and make sure that I feel safe and wants me to put input in possibly helping the franchise.
Right.
Instead of doing it that way, hence why you don't see NBA or any other sports doing this, because there's an understanding that about the anthem. Right. It's like, okay, just be there, represent, and show support. You don't have to like the anthem, but this is what you got to do. And we're like, okay. That's why in the NBA, and they're like, yeah, if we have to say something, say like about police shootings or people of color being treated misfairly, we'll do it in the interview. Yes. We won't do it during the anthem. Or do silent protests. Do silent protests and stuff like that, or wear shirts to be like, all lives matter and all that stuff. But the NFL is still stuck in the 1950s and decides to not only shame Kaepernick for starting the knee movement, they also decide to make it a rule that everyone has to stand up. Yeah. And without the players' union even putting input on it. Right. When I got that notification on my phone, I was like, oh, social media is going to be fun today.
That 24 to 48 hour time frame was bananas. Like, I'm not even going to be funny because I
trash.
It was a haute garbage by far. Like, it was a lot of back and forth riffing and rafting about like how much of an issue it was, which it is.
And the funny thing is, if you think about it and look at it from this perspective, it was a lot of white people that were pulling their voice like, this is wrong, this is not patriotism, you can't force patriotism on somebody like that. And I was like, because you had Chris Song from the Eagles, you got a couple other defensive linemen from the Texans. Like, I believe that the people that the owners thought would speak out more about it was not them. Right. Because they were thinking, oh, it's the people that, they're kneeling and, we need to keep our USAA sponsorship dollars and 1-800-military.com and all that other good stuff.
But I think the other side of it too is it's not. All right, and I've always come back to saying this about this story, and I'm gonna stick to it until as long as the story exists. Anything that's done that's bigger than the NFL or the Shield is a problem.
Correct.
This has been a problem since it was introduced and since it was addressed, because the NFL in most cases, I ain't gonna say they can sweep stuff under the rug, but they can kind of clean it to make it look better for PR, for publicity, or whatever. This situation, however, they couldn't really touch it the way they wanted to, and then it didn't benefit, because if we really look back at it and think about it, last year, and I'm making sure I'm saying this right. Last year, Trump was just about finishing up his first year in office. So you have this going on, and then you have
to add on that, he also was probably looking at something else to put the spotlight on, because of course the spotlight was on him with the whole Russian probe thing and the politics and all that other stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, he's not standing up for the flag. He's not American. Of course, all the spotlight goes away from him and goes on that. And then he just kept adding, he added fuel to the fire. NFL didn't know how to handle it. And it's not about the flag for the 50th, 100th, 1000th time.
But I think people don't know that.
And people still don't understand why players are doing it. People don't understand why, oh, my hands in the air, oh, black power. It's like, you're free, you get all that. I'm like, guys, it's a lot. It's not.
But the toughest part, and I'm going to say this because I want to jam this one too heavy, because the next story is going to be fun. It's tough. People, and we both can say this, and anyone who's listening might be offended by us saying this, but I don't care. I'm saying it for myself. I'm not speaking for him per se, but anyway. Everyone has this envision or dream of wanting to be black until they actually have to be black. And when you experience it, and even me personally, I have no knock or no issue with any other races at all. But
I love all my people.
Yeah, I love people, period. Like, people are people, but I think it just comes down to, a lot of times it's, man, black people can do this, black people do that, they into this.
But see, that's the thing though. White people can do this, Latino people can do this, Japanese people can do this.
Right.
Like, there's certain perks, and I say that in quotation marks, that every race, I guess, has. You know, oh, white people got good credit. Oh, black people,
a lot of us have good credit too.
Yeah,
but it's tough because it's perceived.
But everybody has like a stereotype thing. It's like, oh, well, black people can say I'm not doing it because we're on the podcast. I don't want to get canceled. Right. Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, I want to do that. Why does that matter so much to you?
Right.
I don't get it. But anyway, back to the flag stuff. I think it was not just terrible. It was like business shattering move, because you already had people on the edge like, nah, I'm gonna boycott the NFL. I definitely got people that be like, nah, forget the NFL.
Well, we already got someone in our group that already has made it clear he's not posting anything. And I get his,
and I completely understand,
and I get his point of view. I think for me, what's tough about it, and I said this before, I can support where he comes from, but I also look at it like, because I was in this same boat last year when this all went down, and when the flag issues came up and who was going to kneel and who was going to stand. It's like, well, I'm boycotting football. So I have a podcast talking about sports. So if I don't do football, let's see what happened in cricket today. Anyway, I've been keeping up with that badminton. You know what's going on?
That's surfing.
Right. I mean,
I got a perfect 10 on the highway.
I mean, I'm throwing in Olympic sports that I ain't even looked at, like power walking, but we're going to let that
go. Jaywalking through the street.
Hey,
woo! That's a perfect 10 there, Bob. Maybe you might get the discount next time. Next up.
I'm not even sorry.
All right. So in closing, that rule is trash.
That rule, I have a feeling that rule's gonna get changed. It's gonna be modified next year. They're gonna rock with it now because I don't want to say they have to, but it's gonna be.
But they're basically gonna put a spotlight on a game that they intended, like, oh, we're gonna stop the spotlight. No, you just made it like 5 times bigger.
Yeah, 5 times worser.
5 times brighter too.
Hey, for the one time.
Yeah, change that light bulb.
In the new episode of Ball in the Family, LiAngelo Ball has...
Oh, we're not doing the rules?
Which rules? Oh, I guess we can. I mean, as far as the helmet, I know helmet to helmet is a big hit. Oh. Literally.
Well, here we go. So the NFL made more rules.
Yeah, help me.
Let's just
Cliff note me, because you know I'm a derp.
Well, guys, here we go with the ejection standards. Player lowers his helmet to establish a linear body or posture prior to initiating and making contact with the helmet. Player delivering the blow had an unstructured path to his opponent. Contact was clearly avoidable. Player delivering the blow had other options.
So is this mainly a way of...
So basically, if you hit somebody unconsciously with the helmet, you basically are getting fined.
Yeah. Oh, and that's not... I do want to factor in, because I didn't think about it, as far as, like, kickoffs, too, is being affected.
Yeah. I'm like, kickoffs.
They're looking to do some evaluation with that and possibly changing it, because they... I feel like it's going to happen, but it's going to be stupid to do, because if you remove kickoffs, that means...
It basically turns into flag football.
That and the fact you taking jobs away from kickers.
Yeah. Basically making kickers try to be a punter now.
Yeah, like you're in a struggle. It's almost going to turn, like, you're trying to make the NFL into arena football without...
Right. All you need to do is just put a
net
walls, in the back. Net in the back, yeah.
Would you watch it? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine Tom Brady getting hit though?
Oh no! Oh no!
Roger Goodell would probably take a red eye. I'm surprised he didn't take a red eye to that Kansas City game when he got hurt, because I think that the injury during that game is what generated a lot of this. Now, right. in fairness of these changes with helmets and hits, they are trying to get everything handled with concussions. Because if you look at it, the NFL has been doing the concussion protocol
forever
wrong.
And they've foreverly wrong.
They've been doing it horribly wrong to the point where it just looks like a
Russell Wilson. It's like,
I'm
a lower back. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
They took Russell.
I got a lip. Nah, I just been drinking tequila, man. We good. I don't need no painkillers.
They took Russell Wilson into like a booth.
It's a gift.
They took him into like a video game.
It's like, all right, now you're gonna get the power up. Nope, I don't need it.
So. Yes, I mean, those are a couple of changes. It's really kind of the main thing I was going to talk about with that. So I'm gonna take lead on this one, because this is fun.
Oh boy!
If you go back a couple of weeks ago, there was this thing that the NBA does every year called the NBA Combine. First of all, before we continue with that, I got something I'm gonna say, because I feel like this is funny. It's weird, but it's funny to me. If the NBA sponsor is Nike. We sponsored by Nike. Why was the Combine sponsored by Under Armour? I'm trying to understand that.
Money.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, it's a different shoe brand. Now granted, as long as
you can have your competition. It's a money move.
They could have used JBL for all that. They use JBL for everything else.
JBL
sponsored by Beats Battery.
JBL speakers are trash, by the way.
Hey, anyway, depends on which one you get.
True, that's accurate. I'll give you that one. But anyway, but yeah, that's like advertising and marketing. It's like, oh, the NBA season is sponsored by Nike, but the Combine is just this one-time thing. It's sponsored by Under Armour. It's you make a deal. It's like, hey, NBA would be like, hey, Under Armour, we're already sponsored by Nike for the season,
right?
But we want more money, so we'll give you the Combine. And you can do whatever advertising for this amount in the contract for those 3 days. Yeah. And they're like, all right, deal.
Right. So you have that in place. So you had all of, a lot of guys participated. Some didn't participate because they kind of already had their projections of being high picks. Great, whoop, whatever.
Big Excellent. Baller.
Yeah. So fast forward to what's called the Pro Basketball Combine. I feel like it's like a G League combine, but in fairness of this combine, it's beneficial because a lot of guys do get call-ups or they get opportunities to earn two-way contracts.
Right.
I've talked about this before on the podcast. If I haven't, I'll give a quick, simple discussion of what it is. Basically, you get a contract to play in the NBA, but your contract enables you to play in the NBA as well as in the G League, and you can be alternated back and forth between leagues, and you're not stuck in one league.
Which is great because you just want to get work done.
Yeah. So they had a lot of guys who were there. I know Corey Sanders, I believe, participated, who's with Rutgers. Billy Preston, which I thought is funny because Billy Preston was a high pick at one point.
And didn't get drafted.
But after that, Kansas,
Oh, did he get drafted?
No, he's not. He's coming up in this coming draft.
Oh, this coming, sorry.
Yeah, he's going to be in this coming draft because what happened with him was he played for Kansas. Right. He went through the Kansas struggle, went overseas to play, and of course, they didn't want to really get into the specs and details of why he wasn't playing for Kansas, and him going overseas kind of affected his draft stock. So he did that, kind of shoot and run. But one of the guys who participated was LiAngelo Ball. And
Big Baller Brand.
I'm
not surprised if that's what you're about to ask.
No. What I'm gonna hit is, even with him participating in this draft or in this combine, because the speculation is they want to look to see, because they had the Lakers do a workout with him, which I think is cool. Is he going to be picked up through the draft, or will he likely be picked up through free agency, or will he be picked up by with Summer League? Like, I feel like if a Summer League team could see him, that might show something.
With the draft class coming up, Trae Young and Mo Mamba and all of them, I don't expect to see LiAngelo Ball's name picked up in the draft.
Okay.
What I do expect is him getting a Summer League invite to a team.
Okay.
I can definitely see that.
I just hope he doesn't plan to... This is wrong. I just hope it's not the Las Vegas one. Like, he's not on any of the teams that's in Las Vegas. Like, I could...
Well, remember, LeVar once says, like, I want all my boys in the Lakers, that's what I'm saying. We gonna get Big Baller Brand, Big Baller Laker, Big Baller LA. That's what's happening.
But LaMelo, like, I could see LaMelo going before.
I'll give LaMelo credit. He has put in work this season,
But and then the bad part, statistically, LiAngelo did not have the best year.
No.
At while he played overseas, I think he.
Hey, but he knocked down 6 shots in a row.
Yay.
Yay.
You're shooting. That's like okay. All right. Poor comparison, but perfect point. It's like you're at a basketball court and you're just doing a shoot around and nobody's defending you. Okay, you hit 10 shots straight. I've done that before, and I'm not taking that away from his gameplay. I just think the toughest part for LiAngelo is he's undersized.
And the toughest part is that he went from UCLA, got in trouble, and his dad moved him to Lithuania to play, not in a top Euro league, but to get some playing time.
He played in the G League or the Euro.
I wouldn't even call it the G League. It's just
he played
league.
He played against high school. No, he played against
there's some players in the Lithuania league, but not like Euro League or like Serie A in Italy or in Spain or
like Istanbul,
like that.
Turkish shit. Yeah.
So I understand what his dad was trying to do, but at the end of the day, that might actually hurt his son's chances. Mm-hmm. It's going to make him work a lot harder.
Right.
Instead of just, finishing out your suspension in UCLA, you might not have played for just half the season, then start fresh in the next year, and then just start grinding again for probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. True that.
So, I can totally see him I can see a team probably like, oh, well, you know what? Yeah, we'll give you a summer invite, see how good you are.
I can see him on a practice team.
I can see him on a practice squad. I can see him on a summer league. I can almost 90% see him playing somewhere in Las Vegas during the summer league. And if he impresses there, that's all you got to do sometimes. Just to get that camp invite to try and get a contract.
Last silly question. Do you think he's going to do like his brother and attempt to wear his shoes and struggle and then decide to wear Nikes and fall out?
I hope not if he wants to try and get a contract. I think he's going to try and wear the best shoe possible, which is probably not the ZO2 Primes. Maybe the ZO3 Primes that might be available now. And or maybe the Mellow 3s.
Doesn't he have his own shoe?
I don't know.
I think he has his own shoe.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Don't wear them.
I think his is like 6.
Wear the Under Armour shoes. They're sponsoring the band. Wear Under Armour shoes.
Well, we got to see what's going to be sponsoring this summer league because it'll probably be a totally different sponsor.
Do we have sleepers?
Jesus be offended.
What's on the docket next?
What's on the docket next is the segue that I always love to do. So this is...
we're getting to the stuff part?
This is the stuff. And this... We're going to... This is... we're about to do a clutch stuff.
Clutch.
So,
kill.
Detroit Become Human was released.
It looks beautiful, but...
It's on PlayStation.
Well, it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But from the streams that I've seen on Twitch, it looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It just plays really slow.
Watch Dogs. It has a slight Watch Dogs feel.
Worse. I think it's worse than Watch Dogs because Watch Dogs, you had like the 2-minute cutscene, but you're able to play it,
mm-hmm.
and you had Walker. I can't remember his first name, but running. He's like, I'm running in 8-bit motion while I'm in 30 frames per second. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And the driving was clunky. It reminded me of GTA 4, which we're not going to talk about because it's trash. I think it just needs... It looks beautiful. Graphically, out the park. Top 10. Mm-hmm. Gameplay-wise, it just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
It's not for me.
So I'll say this about it because like I said, we're kind of just pushing it, but like I said, I have the article will be in the show notes. It'll give you a definite A to Z thorough overview of the game. Mm-hmm. My important factor for games like this is always replay value.
I don't see it
right, and that's the problem. That's the challenge. Like, what's the dope side of it is, like the good side of it is if you play it once you beat a certain part because you have to make decisions. Right. Now, your decisions that are made are on the fly, but it's like you kind of are put in a position to think of what you're going to do. The tough part is watching it when streamers are playing it is they're making a decision and they're kind of factoring chat in, but chat really can't make an input or decide it because it's too late.
Yeah, it's just put emojis in it.
So they kind of fighting it. And then once they finish, it says, well, 87% chose what you chose. So you made a good decision, or 13% chose and you went different, things of that nature. So I feel like the game is going to be good. It's just the tough part of once you beat it, then what? That's always how I look at a lot of games like that.
I think it tried to do a little too much from what The Last of Us did. Mm-hmm. Because The Last of Us is a fantastic game. I don't have a PlayStation, and I found a way to play it at my friend's house, and I played that. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. And it had replay value because
there was something
decisions that you make,
different
the story, and all that. It's kind of like, how do I say this? There's Last of Us, and then there's Heavy Rain. Okay. And Heavy Rain was really close to what Last of Us was, but Heavy Rain was maybe a bit too clinicky on the story and decision making and stuff. So Last of Us is the top tier. Yeah. Detroit can get to Heavy Rain Heavy Rain level, but the gameplay's too slow, and like comparing decisions, like, oh, you made the wrong decision just because 85%. So what you're saying is if 85% of the people made that decision just to be like, oh, we're just going to mess the game up, so I'm wrong regardless.
Okay.
It's just trying to do a little too much of those role-playing games regardless.
Yeah.
It looks pretty. It looks fantastic. It's just not hitting yet.
All right. So this is about to be the 5-minute rush. I'm skipping the Facebook story. I'm skipping the Double Dragon story. Those are great stories. I will possibly blend those in a 2% manner. Mm-hmm. I'm going to jump into what I'm calling the music sesh. Today is going to be the first day that I'm skipping Ass of the Week, only because...
No, we can do that. We can do it. We can do it.
We'll see how we rock.
Let's talk about...
Let's hit the music. Let's
talk about Whitney.
Yeah, so this will kind of be like
Pusha T, sorry.
Paint the timeline. Mm-hmm. So I'll kind of give you an overall of what happened. A few years back, I can't stand you. Whitney Houston, who many know as one of the top R&B sensations, pop icons, all-time singers, things of that sort, however you want to title her. She is that from what? Oh my god! I'm so glad it's low enough that if they edit that part, then
I had to do it once.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
No, you good. Get your shit off.
No, I didn't pause it. Shoot,
you really didn't.
My bad.
It was running too. Like
no, pause. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Look at that.
Go on.
Who need it? We gonna work on your editing.
Jazz hands.
Spirit fingers. So they basically, she had died due to drug overdose, and there was a picture from the location of where it occurred. Well, Kanye found it in his best interest to use that picture, pay for $85,000 to get that picture as the album cover for Pusha T's new album, Daytona, which first and foremost is a 7-track album. People are calling it an actual album, but to me, I feel like it's an EP. Some people may look at it as an LP because it's a little longer, but it's only 7 tracks. Now, if we're at that age and era of music where 7 tracks is considered an album, we need to reevaluate music. That's just my opinion.
I don't even know what is considered an album anymore. You got some people that do 10, some people do 12. Pusha did 7. Chris Brown did like 48 to 63.
Yeah, Chris Brown traveled us. Like he sent us cross country.
He's like, look, I did this for a year. It's not 3 albums. It's 1 album. Here you go. I was like, this is 43 tracks. You think I'm gonna expect to listen to Juicy booty.
How far did you get? You got through the whole thing?
I got through the kid part, and then I got to the grown stuff. That's probably like maybe around track 13, 14.
I think when he went,
I got through it. It was decent. It was good though. It had some bangers on there.
All I know is when I got to the Caribbeans, I just let.
Yeah, when you found you left the island.
I was gone.
Come over here with me, and it was like just trying to change your life. I was like, oh, now we're transitioning back to the United States. Okay, we went from Jamaica to back to L.A.
So Pusha T brought up.
Wait.
You know what? We're not talking about Chris Brown right now.
Oh man, sorry.
Let me turn the mic off. Pusha T did the album, and the final track on the album, which was track 7 of 7, was a way of taking a nice parting shot at another artist in reference to the dreaded reference in term of ghostwriting, which, first and foremost, ghostwriting has been going on for umpteen eras and time.
Beginning of hip hop.
Right. So that occurred. It sparked Drake's interest because Drake has his project that he's working on, and he decided to make a song about Duppy or something like that.
Duppy freestyle.
Yeah, it was a freestyle that was on. I found it on SoundCloud. It might be on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's like thousands of links to it on YouTube now.
Yeah, I'll push the. I'll make sure I put the link in the show notes as well. Mm-hmm. But long story short, they went into it, and it just is now kind of. I don't want to say it's like we're not. First and foremost, let's get this out of our head. LL, Cannabis, Foxy, Kim, like all of those R&B beefs or rap beefs that happened back in the day, it's not gonna be anywhere close to that with these two. And I'm gonna really say something that might piss people off. Music and marketing are amazing, and here's why. Mm-hmm. I didn't know this until someone brought this to my attention in looking at the dates. So Pusha T's album came out yesterday. Next Friday, Kanye's album comes out.
Allegedly.
As of right now. Initially, Nicki Minaj's album was supposed to come out on June the 15th, but it got pushed back to August the 10th.
Because Nicki was like, yep, y'all doing y'all beef thing? Mm-hmm. Y'all go right ahead.
Between that, and I think she wanted to give enough space between her and Cardi B on the listen session. A little bit.
I mean, Cardi B's been out for
a while now. Yeah. So you have
still a great album.
So you're carrying Drake on you're carrying Kanye on the 1st, and you got Drake on the 28th. So you literally
be ridiculous.
So it's gonna be like a whole, and then now those are just your main performers. That's not factoring in any other music that's coming.
Independence and all that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of music that I've shared that I always find that I'm usually kind of pushing and presenting. I found a lot of some decent albums I caught this year, so I'm kind of jump on. Well, not this year,
but
still
kicking off a KOD from J. Cole, which I think when I heard Infrared by Pusha, I distinctly went back to KOD and listened to J. Cole's last track when he called out what's his name. I had that same feeling when I listened to J. Cole's last track on his album when I heard Pusha T, because he was calling out somebody. Yeah, and I was like, I think this is Drake, but I'm not sure. Then Drake responded, and hours later, I was like, yep, this is definitely Drake. Yeah. But here's the thing about the freestyle. Mm-hmm. It was a great freestyle. Right. It reminded me of the Drake versus Meek Mill days. Mm-hmm. And I have been secretly waiting to see if Drake did a back-to-back on him, but I don't think that's going to happen. Right. But the real question is, was this freestyle directed to Pusha T, or was Pusha T just an adversary, and that was going after Kanye? Because if you listen to the freestyle, there was a lot of bars about Kanye, and Pusha T. I think it's more or less. I think it's more towards Pusha T, but I think Kanye got some shots at him too. Yeah. So I think it was maybe a mixture. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of that play by ear, run its course type of scenario, but I will say this: Drake can't throw the invoice on him. I mean, damn. The invoice, and he put it on Instagram. the invoice was the truest. He put the Instagram and said a comment, "You're welcome." I was like, "Oh, that was the truest way of taking. That was the way of taking a shot at him, though. Like that just kind of eased. That kind of just made it clear. He didn't even have to make another song. He's like, "Yeah, you won. You won." But I mean, it's not like even if Pusha T comes back with another song or not, I don't think it's gonna carry but so far because it's not like. Yeah, people are still rocking Daytona right now.
The music will still be the music. Trying to think if I hit. Oh, we'll hit. It's one other music sesh part that I want to jump into, and I believe I put a tab for it. If I didn't, this will be kind of improv. I am learning. This is going to be my goal with this podcast. I want to do better with interviews, and I want to do better with conversations. Like conversations when I talk with people and we just shooting the bread, shooting the shit about stuff.
Okay.
Fuck it, whatever. But doing interviews, Angie Martinez knows how to do an interview.
She's a G.
And the reason why, and I think this part of it, I kind of have down. If we're doing a podcast and we're talking and you talk, and even if you're a co-host or you visiting, I'll sit, chill.
Yeah, like he's on my couch right now.
Yeah, I'm sitting back. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do what you do, and then once it's like, all right, we're gonna collab and talk, then I'll jump in and say, all right, well, here's how I feel about it, blah blah blah, whatever. But I think she was able to allow J. Cole to talk about his shit,
and that's a skill. That's not a talent. Although Angie Martinez is hella talented, that's why she's been on the radio for
a long ass time.
Yeah, but that's a skill to have as an interviewer. When you make the interviewee feel comfortable that they're actually having a conversation with you, instead of just, I ask a question, you answer, I ask a question, you answer, you're going to get a lot more out of the interview that you were at least expecting. And that's why I listen to Angie Martinez, sometimes Charlamagne the God in New York. He does decent interviews at times, maybe not as recently. I'm not talking about the Tekashi 69 one because that was funny and hilarious because 69 owned you.
Yeah.
Pause.
Right.
And, or like, one podcast I really got into, which is an ESPN podcast, it is Marty Across America with Marty Smith.
Okay.
And he did an interview with Tiger Woods and Penny Hardaway. He did Tiger Woods before the Masters, and then Penny Hardaway, I think, got the Memphis Smith job. The Memphis basketball job.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you listen to those podcasts if you want to subscribe to something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, interviewing is a skill.
Yeah.
I mean, talent does take you somewhere, but to get the person that you're talking to feel like, kick back, relax, have a little IPA like I'm having right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Right.
That's a skill. And Angie Martinez definitely has that skill. She's definitely one of the top interviewers in New York and possibly in the game.
Yeah,
period.
She allowed the interview. She allowed it to be led and kind of she allowed it to be led and he kind of just flowed along with it. And it's like if it was like that moment because they brought this up. A lot of podcasts I've listened to they say this, and I'm 100% in agreement of it. If you're talking with someone and there hits a point of white noise or pauses are good for listening because that could be that opportunity that you let your person that you're interviewing to kind of think of what they're going to say next. Or if you need to jump in and say, all right, I understand that, blah, 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 and then kind of go into whatever else you're going to talk about.
Right.
So, I mean, if you have not listened to that interview, I have that link also is in the show notes, and it will definitely kind of explain A to Z. Like, it's over an hour, but it's a worthwhile listen. Like, you'll listen to it and you'll be like, wait, I had to go to work. How did I sit here for like almost 2 hours and listen to somebody talk?
You'd be reincarnated like J. Cole was.
So, I'm gonna be blunt. I'm not gonna talk about Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, there's already been enough said about that.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna say much about that. But I will talk about how the Morgan Freeman story came to light.
Not God.
He's human. I feel like it's more this the condensed and the simple version of it is.
Why is it always the people that everybody looks up to that just be like doing the most ratchetness?
Well, I mean, it's a primary shot of the Me Too. The Me Too. I mean, you got the Me Too movement, but you also have people who aren't understanding. Like, hey, if it happened, talk about it because no one knows.
Lifting up a skirt is not okay, guys.
Yeah.
This public service announcement, anything to make a girl feel uncomfortable is not okay.
Have you seen uncomfortable situations, like, personally?
Yes.
Did you have to address the person about it?
Yes.
Dang. There was, like, no hesitation.
Yeah, I knew where you're going with. I was like, yes and yes. That's why I'm not friends with a lot of people. Like, that's not cool.
I mean, it's
like, oh, we're having fun. No.
What is you doing?
I'm not having fun with you. Oh, baby, no. What is you doing, baby? No. Not today. No pickle, no piper, no pan, no.
So there were I'm gonna let you be great. 16 people did speak about Freeman with the investigation, with 8 of them stating that they were victims. Some of them were considering it as harassment. Others looked at it as inappropriate behavior. If this comes full circle, it's going to be really tough because you already got Bill with his heavy sentence covering. And then you got Morgan that could get hit with a heavy shot too.
Yeah.
So we're going to...
Not Morgan Freeman though.
Lied. Meanwhile. This will be a closeout, and I'll share this since we got like a couple of seconds because I'm doing good. This is the 3rd week I'm sticking to like the 1 hour stint, but we still got like a lot of topics. I'm gonna, like I said, the other ones I'll blend those and give like aggressive, beautiful cliff notes next week. But if you are a fan, as I always share, Game of Zones, you want to check it out.
Yes.
This week's Game of Zones was hilarious only because it mimicked NBA 2K. But it mimicked NBA 2K from a 1K perspective with the olden days of microtransactions.
Yeah.
And the fact that someone had virtual coins that you couldn't see and he lost them on the ground and tried to pick them back up made it the greatest video that I've ever watched. Like
I'm jealous of the NBA 2K E-League. I'm just so jealous of that.
You have to. Have you been watching it?
I've watched, I think like the second day, I think it was like Warriors and some team. I saw the whole game. I was like, I can totally feel the emotions in this game right now.
That's nothing. You had to see it when they play. Like, so they showed them when they play at the main stadium, which is, I mean,
I saw that one. I was like, oh,
the main venue is dope. I love that. Yeah. But I think what I like the most about the setup is the their practice. They have like,
they have a practice house.
So some teams have like, I know Washington showed theirs, Sacramento showed theirs. I know Dallas has one, but their practice setup. Yeah. Ultimate cheat code. So yeah, just getting that in place.
Just to play games.
Yes.
Video games is becoming a sport now, which is crazy.
Speaking of which, closing shot. Yeah, Fortnite had this tournament yesterday. They did a $25,000 tournament. Ninja.
Logan Paul didn't win, thank God.
Oh God, you know what? Good night. Ninja and his teammate lost to Team FaZe in the finals. It was reset, and then they beat them again. And the Combo Breaker is going on this weekend. So Dragon Ball Z, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Injustice.
It's like the greatest fighting.
Yeah, all of the fighting games, Street Fighter 2, all your original games are coming back. Next week is going to be popping because I will be coming out of Twitch retirement. So,
Gasp.
So we'll just be on the lookout for that. Before we go, because I don't want to just like rush the show, but we are making money moves. Is there anything else you want to close out with? You know what? If y'all one day we would do a video recording of a podcast together and just hope that I don't get put off of YouTube. But any closing remarks you have?
Nah, it's been a good podcast. Thank you for having me on once again. Unfortunately, Liverpool lost to Real Madrid in the final, but it's okay. Gareth Bale scored possibly the most sick, ridiculous bicycle kick goal in the history of football, so I can't be mad at that. Although I can't be mad at Karius, but Karius, you're a terrible goalkeeper, and I hope you leave during the summer. And other than that, it's been good. Appreciate you coming over. Appreciate you doing your podcast in my lab.
Shadow Kazi at Twitter and YouTube.
Oh, I was about to roll that out too.
Twitter. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. And that's all. Like,
yeah, it's your boy Shadow Kazi, aka Barky Mark, aka Just Mark out of RVA. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Shadow Kazi, SHADOWKAZIE. All that good stuff. Also, run VCSports.com.
Yep.
Kind of a little bit of an off season right now since it's the summer. Sports is wrapping up, but you can follow us on Twitter at VC Sports and Facebook /VC Sports and Instagram at VC Sports RVA.
Yeah, looking forward to the shows coming back when y'all do those YouTube stints if that's running, but we'll talk about that off air.
Speaking of Twitch, yeah, catch me on getting back in Destiny 2 and Fortnite.
Yeah, He be getting some dubs, making money moves. But
money moves. Hey.
As y'all know, this is the Pass BT, Pass Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. You know what? Good night. I'm working on a
attitude.
In the next couple of months, I'm working on the copyright. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I got some things I need to get situated.
Like the Double Dare shirt.
Hey, for the one time.
Not Double Dare 2000 because that's too old for you.
This is Double Dare Guac. This is you know what I'm talking about though, with that Guac logo in the back. Guac. But we're gonna end here. Y'all take it easy. Be good. Be safe. Be positive. And until next time, the Pass signing out.
Go Blue Barracudas.
Red Jaguar. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to get any information specifically based on the shows, you can go to Spreaker.com/BriTapePodcast or go to www.passpodcast.com. On both of those options, you do have the information related to what topics were talked about, the timestamps for the episode, as well as the specific links related to that specific story. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, the Pass signing out. でもそんなんじゃダメもうそんなんじゃほら心は進化するよ